Hi everyone, welcome to Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. I'm Kishore and I've planned a really interesting Sudoku variant for you guys today. I chanced upon this Sudoku when it was suggested by a solver named Demono on the CTC Discord server. This Sudoku was created by Titus and Ronicus, and having solved this, I can vouch for its amazing quality. No wonder it has been rated 100% on the Logic Masters Germany portal. Very few puzzles manage to get 100% rating, and this is one of them. It is just so beautiful in terms of the quality of logic that I decided to make a video on this. Even though you can see the rules above me, which are so long, and had a difficulty posting them above, but they are interesting and not so difficult. I'll get to them shortly. Meanwhile, if you are watching our videos regularly, please subscribe to the channel, and also do consider becoming a Patreon for the channel. The rewards for the month of September were posted yesterday. It was a doppelganger Sudoku. So please do become a Patreon to get access to these rewards, and more importantly, do subscribe to the channel. Yeah, that's about it. The link to solve this Sudoku is in the description of the video. Let me go to the rules now. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. This Sudoku is called slightly wrong, and you can see that the word wrong is misspelled, and that is for a reason. So classic rules apply. Each row, each column, and 3 by 3 box in the grid has digits 1 to 9, no repetitions. The next part is the variant part. So basically, there are 5 variants in this grid: killer, arrow, Kropki, black Kropki, palindrome, and skyscraper, the clues that you see outside the grid. And when you consider each of these variants, there is exactly one instance of them where they are wrong, or you can say false. So for example, if you take the killer part, you can see that there are 6 cages, right? Totally 6 cages in the grid. Exactly one of these cages will be false. And similarly, if you take the arrows, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 arrows in the grid. And exactly one of these arrows is false. And similarly, for the black dot, exactly one of the black dots will be false, exactly one of the palindrome lines will be false, and one of the skyscraper clues will be false. Now let's see at the rules in detail. Killer. In a killer cage, digits sum up to the clue given in the top left corner, and digits can't repeat inside a cage. So for example, if you have a 3 here, you cannot have a 3 here. The moment this happens, you can say that this killer cage is false. Or if let's say you have a 6, 7, 8, 9 here, you can clearly see that these digits don't add up to 12, and which means this cage is false. So either the digits repeat or they don't sum up to the clue in the top left corner, in which case the killer cage would be false. Arrow. The digits along the arrow stem must sum up to the digit in the circle. So you can, for example, let's say have 3 and 6 here, then this would be a 9. The moment that this doesn't happen, let's say you have a 7 here, then you can say that this arrow is false. The next is black dot. So the digits on either side of a black dot must be in the ratio of 1:2. So you can have 1, 2 here, or for example 2, 4 here, or 3, 6 here. And the moment this doesn't happen, let's say you have a 3, 7, these are clearly not in the ratio of 1:2, and which means that this is a false black dot. And the next part is palindrome. The digits on either side of the palindrome will match. So if, for example, you have a 1 here, then you also must have a 1 on the other line of the other end of the palindrome. If you have a 7 here, then this will also be a 7. If you have an 8 here, this will also be an 8. So they basically read the same from both the directions. 178, 871, 178, 871. And the moment this gets broken, let's say you have a 2 here, then this is a false palindrome. And the final is a skyscraper. A skyscraper clue is nothing but it denotes the number of buildings that you can see when looking from that direction. So for example, if you take this 3 clue outside row 6, it means that when you look from left to right, you will see exactly 3 buildings. And what do you mean by buildings? The numbers along the row 6, will denote buildings of respective heights. So for example, you can have, let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So which means that this building is of height 2 units. This will be of height 3 units, and it will be seen clearly by a person who looks from left to right. And similarly, 4 would be seen, 5 would be seen, 6 would be seen. Now, if for example, if you have a 7 here, 7 is obviously taller than all these buildings. So you can only see 7 and you cannot see any of these buildings. And let's say you have an 8 here, then 8 will be seen because 8 is taller than the 7. And then you can have a 9 here, and 9 will also be seen because 9 is taller than 8. So in total, you will be seeing 7, 8 and 3 buildings. So this is how a skyscraper works. And the moment this is not satisfied, then it becomes a false skyscraper clue. So these are the rules. I have explained them in my own words. Hope that was easy enough to follow. There are 5 different variants, just to summarize. And in each of these variants, exactly one instance of them is going to be wrong. Exactly one. And it's up to the solver to determine which one is wrong. So as I've solved this Sudoku already, I know the exact intended solve path, and it's amazing. I can't wait to take you through the solve path. Let's go to the solve path now. The starting of this Sudoku is by looking at these 2 killer cages together and by thinking whether both of these can be right simultaneously. So if you take this cage, the 2 yellow cages, the total is 25 plus 21, which is equal to 46. And if you take this box alone, there will be digits from 1 to 9. And in any row, column or a box of a Sudoku, the digits will always sum to 45. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on up to 9, that sums up to 45. So now we know that the green cells sum up to 46 and the middle box sums up to 45. So I have the green cells and I have the middle box. I'm going to subtract the middle box, that is the box 5, from the green cells. When you do that, the common cells, all these will be cancelled out and they become white. But this cell will be subtracted from the green cells and it remains. The common cells get cancelled out and the red cell remains. So we can say here that the sum of the green cells minus a red cell will be equal to 1. The reason is you have 25 plus 21 here, 46, and I've subtracted the middle box, which is 46 minus 45. I've cancelled out the common cells, and which means that the green cells minus the red cell is equal to 1. And here comes the really beautiful part. If you look at these arrows, the green cells, the minimum sum is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And if you look at this arrow, row 3, column 5, the minimum sum is going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So 9. Now, there is a possibility. One of these circles may be wrong. But if one of them is wrong, the other will surely be right, because exactly one instance of each variant is wrong. So which means that, let's say this arrow is wrong, the one at row 5, column 7, then the other one will surely be right and will have to contain a 9, right? So now we know for sure there is a 9 in one of these circles. Both may also contain a 9. We are not sure yet. Both may be true, and maybe this circle, for example, may be wrong. We are not sure yet. But at least one of them will be right, is what I'm trying to say. And the moment you have one of them as right, there will be a 9 inside these 2 circles. And now let's say you have minimum 1, just for example's sake. these two cells will sum up to 10. Remember that the sum of the green cells minus red cell is equal to 1. And the moment these add up to a 10, then this has to be a 9 in order to satisfy that. But you already have 9 in one of these two cells, and that removes the 9 from row 5 column 5, so not possible. And as you keep on increasing the digits, let's say you have 2 9, you add up to 11, so which means that the middle cell will be 10. And the moment you increase from 2 to the middle cell, absolute middle cell of the grid will become a double digit number, which is clearly not possible. So what can you conclude from this? One of these killer cages must be wrong, because if both of them are right, then there is no way we can satisfy the part that sum of the green minus sum of the red is equal to 1. So it's clear to us that one of these killer cages is wrong, which means the rest of the killers must all be true. So I'll just mark them in maybe light yellow color. So all these are true, and which gives us a really important direction now. Look at this 12 gauge here at the leftmost of the grid, this 12 gauge. Now a 12 must always contain a 1 and a 2. We have established that it is a true gauge, and to add up to 12 with 4 digits, you must have 1 and 2. And if you look at row 3 column 1 column 2, that is being seen by these 3 cells, you can say, right? Let me mark them in green. And we also know that one of them will take a 9, which means that either this is going to be 1 2 3, or this is going to be 1 2 3, or both can be 1 2 3 if both are true. But definitely one is going to be 1 2 3, which means that you cannot have a 1 and 2 in row 3 column 1 column 2. So which means for the 12 gauge, 1 and 2 goes here. What a beautiful piece of deduction. What a beautiful piece of deduction. Common logic. Now the 12 gauge needs 9 more. It's either 3 plus 6 or 4 plus 5, but 3 plus 6 is clearly ruled out, because if you have a 3 plus 6 here, then 3 is ruled out from box 1 and box 3, and the 9s can't become true. So this becomes 4 5. Let me remove these greens. Oops, sorry. I want to remove the greens and make this yellow. Yes. So we've got the contents of the 12 gauge. Now let's look at the 8 gauge. It cannot be 3 plus 5. So it's either 1 plus 7 or 2 plus 6. Okay. So we have got until this point. Okay. So the next big breakthrough, you can say, or big jump in logic, you can say, at this point is to ask if both of these arrows can be simultaneously true. It is really important, because this is the next major breakthrough in the Sudoku. If both are true, for let's assume that both are true for now, this arrow will be minimum 7, right? Because you have a 1 and 2. Let me make this yellow. We are assuming for a moment that both of them are true. Let's make them a lighter yellow. So if row 6 column 1 is true, there must be a 3 in these two cells, because if not, the minimum sum would be 4 5, and that would eliminate row 3 column 1 without any possibility. So which means that 3 must be here, and maximum would be 6. So this will be 3 4 5 6, and that will become a 7 8 or a 9. Now look carefully. Look at this circle, the one marked in pink. What can that be? Minimum sum is going to be 1 plus 2 plus 4, right? Because 3 is ruled out. But 1 plus 2 plus 4 is not possible because it is staring straight at row 2 column 2, which means that 1 plus 2 plus 4 is ruled out. So which means this pink cell can only be 8 or a 9 now. But can it be 8? If it is 8, there are two possibilities. 1 plus 2 plus 5, which is again ruled out because it is staring at row 2 column 2, and that will remove both the possibilities. The next is 1 3 4 for 8, but 1 3 4 is also ruled out because you have a 3 in column 1 box 7. So 1 3 4 is ruled out. So the only option left to us is a 9 in the pink cell. Can you have a 9? Now 9 has three possibilities. 1 plus 2 plus 6, which is again ruled out because it is looking at row 2 column 2. The next two possibilities, 1 plus 3 plus 5 or 2 plus 3 plus 4, are both ruled out because you have a 3 corner pencil mark in box 7. So which means that no matter what you put in a row 9 column 3, it is never becoming true. So which means that both of these arrows can never be simultaneously true. One of them has to be wrong. This is the next big deduction that I wanted to explain in the Sudoku. A really beautiful piece of logic. Absolutely beautiful, guys. So one of them is wrong. We don't know which. The moment we assume that both of these are right, we got a 3 in here. And that forced no digit in this arrow, which means that one of them has to be wrong. The rest of the arrows are right. So let's make them yellow. Remove these greens first. Okay, all these 4 remaining arrows are true. I don't want to highlight the arrow stems because they seem to be clashing with the other variants. So let's not highlight the arrow stems. So rest are true. And the moment you highlight row 3 column 5 and row 5 column 7 as true, it follows that both must be 9, right? Because the minimum sum is going to be a 9 in both of these arrows. There is no other possibilities. Absolutely. This is the bare minimum that you can put in those arrow stems and they will add up to a 9. So there is no second thought about that. And now if you look at row 2, there is a 1 2 pair that gives a 3 here, which means this will be a 1 and 2. And now look at the 10 cage in box 3. It is 3 plus 7 or 4 plus 6. You can't have 1 plus 9 and 2 plus 8. And 3 plus 7 is also ruled out because you have 1 2 3 here. So this is a 4 6. And that is looking at row 2 column 1. So 6 is eliminated there. That is a 7. That becomes 1 for the 8 cage. So that's 2. That's 1. That's 2. Excellent. Okay, so the next part. Okay, look at row 4 and row 5. They both have a 1 2 pair, right? Row 4 and row 5 both have a 1 2 pair, which means for row 6, 1 and 2 must be in these 3 cells. And now look at the 21 cage. Can it equal 21 now? So you already have a 9 inside. And you need 12 more from that cage without 1 and 2. That is simply not possible. The minimum sum becomes 3, 4, 5, 6, and that will surely exceed 21. So it is clear to us that 21 is the wrong cage, which means 25 has to be true. Let's highlight that completely. So that's beautiful. Okay. Now let's put some pencil marks inside box 1. The remaining digits are 6, 8, 9. This cannot be 9. And there is a 9 in one of these 2 cells. And that gives 9 in row 2. And that gives a 9 in column 8 in these 3 cells. But notice that 9 cannot be in row 9 column 8 because that will violate both the black dots, and we know that exactly one dot is false. So 9 is in one of these two cells. And row 2 can be completed, 6, 8. Sorry, it's not 6, 8, sorry, it's 5, 8. And now if you look where the 8 goes in row 3, there is only one cell left. 8 goes here and that becomes a 6, 9 pair. Okay, where does the 9 go in box 5? 9 cannot repeat inside this killer cage because it's a true cage. 9 cannot be in row 5. So 9 has to be in one of these two cells. It's apparent, right? 9 cannot repeat in the 25 cage because that's a true cage. And now where does the 9 go in row 6? It has to be in one of these three cells. And 9 cannot be in row 6 column 1 because that forces 6 here. And now if you look at both these skyscraper clues together, both of them are becoming incorrect, right? The 4 clue is seeing 6, 7 and 9, which means 3 buildings, and the 3 clue is seeing just 9, which means just one building. So 9 is not possible there. That would make both the clues incorrect. Okay, so this was another tricky part. I'm just thinking what I did here, but before that, let's put some easy pencil marks in row 3. The leftover digits are 6 and 7, and we can complete this box 3, 4. Complete the row 5, 7, 8. So I think we have to come back to this arrows. One of them is true and one of them is wrong. So let's see what happens here. So if row 9 column 3 is true, then you invariably get a 2, 3, 4 here, right? Because 1 is in row 2 column 2. And the minimum possible sum becomes 2, 3, 4, and that would make this as a 9. Yeah, that is simply not possible, guys. That is simply not possible. The reason is a 9 here forces a 9 here, forces a 9 here. And now look at both these skyscraper clues. The 4 clue is just one building, 9 is going to block everything, and the 3 clue, when it is looking from left to right. Remember that 4 clue looks from top to bottom and 3 clue looks from left to right. So 3 is seeing just 2 buildings. Beyond 9, you can't see any building, and 4 is just one building. So both the clues are getting contradicted. So clearly, you can't have row 9 column 3 as the right one. That has to be false. So which means this is true. So let's put a yellow in row 6 column 1. This is the false guy, the pink one. So the moment this becomes true, you can see that the minimum total here would be 3 plus 4, because you already have a 1 and 2 in that column, and that would put a minimum sum of 7 here, but 7 is ruled out because you have 7 in that column, and 9 is also ruled out. So which means that this digit has to be clearly an 8, no other possibility. and that forces a 3 5 into these two cells because 1 and 2 are ruled out, and that fixes 4 and 5 here. That gives us 6 9 in this column. And now it is clear to us that the 3 clue is violated because you can maximum see 2 buildings. In fact, just the 2 buildings. It's not even maximum because you can see 8 and you can see 9. No other buildings can be seen. So 3 is not correct, and which means 4 has to be correct, and for 4 to be correct, this has to be 6. It cannot be 9, and this has to be a 9. And now if you look from top to bottom, you can see 6, you can see 7, you can see 8, and you can see the 9. And 9 can be placed here. Now look at the 13 cage. It has to be true because it's in yellow. Just one possibility, 6 and 7. Now look at the 25 cage again. You have 1, 2 and 9 inside, which sum up to 12. We need 13 more, and that cannot be 4 plus 9. So it is either 5 plus 8 or 6 plus 7. 6 plus 7 is clearly ruled out because of the 13 cage in box 6. 6 plus 7 is not possible. So it is 5 plus 8, and 8 cannot be in row 6. So 8 goes here. And which means this will be 1, 2, 5, which adds up to 25 for the cage. And that gives a 3 in this row. Excellent. And look at the 8 now, that is resolving 8, 5, 8 pair in row 2. Row 6 can be completed, just one digit, 4. And that's a true arrow, so this must be 1 plus 3. And that gives a 2 in row 3, column 7, because you had a 1, 2, 3 there. That's a 2, that becomes 1, 3. And 4, 6 can be resolved, so that's a 4, that's a 6. And you have 5, 7, 8 as the left out digits in column 7. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at row 9, column 7 and column 8. These two cells encompassed by the black dot. They can never be true. When you have a 5 or a 7, there is no way you can get another digit which is going to form a 1:2 ratio. So the only possibility for this black dot to be true is to have an 8 here, and that instantly forces 4 here, which leads to a contradiction in the column. There are 2 4s in the column. So which means that this black dot is always false, which means these 2 black dots must be true. Let's make them yellow. Okay. And now look at this arrow in box 8 that can easily be filled because it's heavily constrained. So you have a black dot which is true, and you also have the arrow as true. So the only possibilities are you can have 1 and 2, which leads to 3 here, but 3 is not possible because you have a 3 5 pair in box 7 and a 1 3 pair in box 9, and that eliminates the 3 here. So it could be 2 4, that leads to a 6 here, which is possible, or it could be a 4 8, not possible, that sums up to 12, or it could be a 3 6, which is possible, but that leads to a 9 here, which is again not possible because there is a 9 already in the column. The only possibility is 2 4 and a 6. And 2 4 pair in column 6 fixes that. That's a 3, that's a 4. And you have, let me remove the colors, guys. I think we have got enough here to go on. So it would be easy for me to remove the colors. Or would it be wise to have them? Yeah, let's retain them. Where does the 2 go in box 5? 2 cannot be in column 5, 2 cannot be in column 6. So 2 goes here. That becomes a 1 5 pair. and there is a 5 in column 6. So 5, 1. And now look at this black dot, which is true in box 9. 1 and 2 and 3 and 6 are eliminated. The only option is 2 and 4, 4, 2, or 4 and 8, 4, 8. So these are the only possibilities which can go here, but 4 cannot be in column 8, so that gives a 4 here. I have a 6, 7 pair in box 6, which means this will be 5, 8. Where does the 9 go in column 6? Only once they're left. 9 goes here, so that's a 6 and 7. But 6 is already in box 8. And which means that is a 7, that is a 6, that is a 7. Okay, let's try to finish this now. Now comes the final part, the palindrome part. Can this palindrome be true? The one in purple. If that is true, then these two cells, the purple cells, must be equal because they are the opposite ends of the palindrome. And can they be equal? Look at row 8, column 4. This cannot take 2, 4, 6, and 7. It cannot take 1 and 8. So the only possibilities are 3, 5, and 9, which means this will also be 3, 5, and 9, but all those are eliminated. The final icing on the cake, you can say, of this beautiful Sudoku. So which means this palindrome is wrong. So this guy is true. Let's make him yellow, which means these two cells are equal. And I know I am not able to point at them. And by these two cells, I meant this one and this one, the red cells. They are true palindromes. So 2, 2, the only common between them, and this would be a 4 now. And just extending along the palindrome, this will be 1, 3. But a 2 here gives me a 1 here, a 3 here, a 3 here, a 1 here. And that 3 gives a 3 in this palindrome, that's a 1. And 6, 7 gives a 6, 7 here, but that cannot be a 6. So that is a 7, that is a 7, that is a 6. And that gives a 7 in here, so that's a 5, 8. That's a 5, 8. Column 8 can be completed. This is a 2. This is a 9. Now it's just the Sudoku part. 5, 8. 5, 6, 8. 6 can't go here. 6 goes here. And 3 here resolves this 3, 5 pair. 5 and 3. That 5 gives an 8, 5, 8, 5, 8, 5. 1, 2 in box 4 can be resolved. 2, 1. And 5 can be placed now. Okay, where does the 9 go in row 7? 9 goes here. And 1, 4 can be placed. That gives 4 in box 4. Gives a 4 in box 5. And column 3 can be completed. 7, 6. This will be 8. That will be 2. This can be completed. 8 and 5. 1, 3. All about finishing the Sudoku now. 7, 3. 7 and 6. And that completes this gorgeous Sudoku. So answer check has not been enabled, and that's why you don't get the communication about the Sudoku getting completed. But what a Sudoku, guys. I would say the best I've solved in recent past. I really enjoyed solving this Sudoku. Wonderful logic. It's always nice when you extract a common piece of information when solving a Sudoku, and that started by considering the 25 and the 21 cases together, and then it got stickier a bit around box 4 and box 7. The difficult part according to me was identifying that one of those two arrows in those boxes must be wrong. That was a really tough part for me, but a really excellent Sudoku, and credits to Titus and Ronicus for giving us this wonderful Sudoku. Hope you enjoyed watching me solve this. Please do leave your thoughts in comments. I'll hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.